I noticed before that maybe some people were not paying attention. So I want to see who is paying attention. So whoever is paying attention, please raise your hand. More people should pay attention. Okay, thank you. So now that I have your attention, we can begin. Today I'm going to talk to you about NX. Who here knows what NX is? Let me see your hands. Okay. And who has used NX? Oh, so the same people who have heard of it are using it, so it means that if you hear about it, you like it and you use it, right? Yes. So today we're not just going to talk about NX in general, we're going to talk about NX for Angular users. I am Katerina. I am a senior engineer at NX. I'm a Google developer expert for Angular and Google Maps, a Woman Tech Makers ambassador, a speaker and instructor, and I also am a cat mother. I like mountains, oatmeal, and chocolate. And you can follow me on Twitter at CyberCity. Now, because I am a cat mother, you know how parents like to show pictures of their kids and everyone is bored to look at pictures of their kids? This is me with my cats. I try to force pictures of my cats on people, but people are bored. So I put a lot of pictures of my cats in my presentations because you have no option not to see them. So I come from Greece. So this is my house in Greece. And I guess most of you know where Greece is, but just to put it into perspective, Greece is there, and we are over here. So it was quite a long trip, not too long, but quite a long trip. So now we're ready to begin. So let's answer some questions first, and this is the first picture of my cats. What if? So what if you could do a first checkout of your workspace and have the app running in a few seconds? What if you could look forward to writing E2E tests? I know nobody believes it, but you will look forward to write E2E tests after this presentation. And what if your PRs could be validated in CI instantly? How that would change how your team writes software? Would more features get done in a sprint? Would products go to market faster? Would developers be happier? Well, NX is the tool that brings all those what-ifs to life. I know that I guess most of you are Angular developers, so you're thinking, I already have the Angular CLI, and I don't work in a monorepo. Well, NX is a lot more, as we're going to see, and it's not only for monorepos. So what is NX? Let's start with a bit of history. Back the two founders of NX, Victor Sapkin and Jeff Cross, used to be in the Angular team. In 2016, they left Google and they started Narwhal and started building NX. NX initially started as an extension to the Angular CLI, but today is a lot more than that. And this is what NX means, Narwhal extensions for Angular. So, say back in the day it would be your Angular app, above the Angular app would be NX, then you would have the Angular CLI and the Angular Dev Kit. Then, eventually, you wouldn't need the Angular CLI because you could use NX and its CLI, and underneath it would be the NX Dev Kit and the Angular Dev Kit. Let's take a look at the NX architecture. At the base of your architecture, you have NX, which takes care of task running, task distribution. Well, we're going to explain what all of these terms are. Workspace analysis, local caching, code generation, and automatic migrations. On top of that, you have NX Console, which is the user interface for NX, which is a plugin for VS Code and Web Store, and I think we have other ID integrations. We have NX Cloud, which we're going to explain what that is, which takes care of remote caching, distributed task execution, structured logs, and VSC integration. And you have plugins. Plugins are sort of like the Angular CLI. They offer generators, they offer connectors, they offer code migrations, and the NX dev kits. And on top of all of this is your workspace. NX has a lot of plugins and offers plugins for a lot of tools like Angular, of course, React, Nest, Storybook, ESLint, Prettier. What this means is that we have integrations with all of these tools, and we can offer generators and code migrators for all of these tools. We have, I think now that number is a bit wrong, I think we have 4 million downloads per week, so a lot of people use NX. And let's talk about enterprise development for Angular. Why enterprise? We have a lot of very large clients who already rely on NX to build their applications and their software because it makes things more efficient. We have clients like Walmart, T-Mobile, Moderna, Microsoft, Cisco, FedEx, and VMware. But let's see, what is NX? NX is not just another build tool. It's a build system. It's a comprehensive framework that integrates your tools and helps teams build better together. Some key benefits are code sharing and collaboration. You can manage multiple apps and libraries within a single workspace. Efficient build and test caching. You spend less time waiting and more time coding. And powerful developer tools. You can enjoy built-in tools that enhance your development experience. In the video here, you are seeing the NX graph, which is the visual representation of your workspace and its dependency. NX, as I mentioned, offers the NX plugins. The NX plugins are extensions for your workspace. They add capabilities to it. NX plugins are optional packages, like you don't have to use them if you're using NX, that extend the capabilities of NX, and they cater to specific technology needs. These plugins offer additional features, making your development experience more efficient and enjoyable. Some common uses are setup-specific. You set up your workspace using specific frameworks and tools. You're using the generators. In the Angular language, generators are schematics. They bring enhancements, optimizations, and of course, we offer automatic migrations, which are generators or schematics that automatically migrate and change your code base if you're going from one version to another. But why should you use NX in the first place? Two are the main things that NX will give you. First is the task runner. Three of the words for the task runner. It helps you scale, it helps you replay, we'll see what that is, and it offers speed. The other is the plugins, as I said, which provide automation, migration, and better and easier maintenance for your code base. Let's start with the easy part, some features of the NX plugin. Maintaining and automation, as I said, we offer generators with the schematics and automated updates. Also, you can automate your setup because you can write your own custom generators. Okay, so in this video, you're seeing this is a generator for a new Angular application. It looks like the NGNew generator that it will create a new application for you. What is more is that it will scaffold your project, and you can automate common dev tasks, because with NGNew you will get your Angular JSON and some tasks like build and test. Here we will add more things for you. We will add a linter, but we will also make sure that what is generated is consistent across your workspace, so that you can mix and match various technologies in the same workspace. Say, for example, you have for your admin panel you're using Angular, for your UI you're using React. You want a consistency in there. Also, part of the generators are migrators. They automate updates. So you can do NX migrate and put a version. For example, here we're seeing a migration to the latest version of NX. This is not the latest, but you know. And what it does is it will take care to update your packages in package.json, but it will also make sure to change specific files in your code base that need changing because some syntax may have changed from one version to another. Also, we offer module federation support for Angular. I don't know who's using module federation, but we also offer that generators to generate a host application, a remote application, and connect the two. You can go to this page here, nx.dev/x19nx/intros/getting started, and understand what our plugins are, but also start building your own plugin if you want. Or you can also check out this video on YouTube, which helps you create local generators. So now let's get to the more interesting part of NX, which is the part that makes your CI run faster. These are the NX tasks. The syntax of the NX tasks looks very much like the ng-build, the ng-CLI syntax in a way. So you have NX, the target name, the project name, and some options. One of the features of NX tasks is the cache. The cache, which we call NX replay, determines and caches part of the project that have been affected. We're going to explain that. Also, it takes various inputs into account, and you can specify which inputs are taken into account whenever you're running a task. So in this example here, no, this is the wrong video, but okay. In this example, ideally here would be showing you running a build for your app and then rerunning the same build and getting the result instantly. But we're going to see that as we're going along. One other feature of NX tasks is the NX graph and affected. The NX graph, which I showed you an interactive video just before, it generates a graph that visualizes how apps and libraries depend on each other in your NX workspace. It helps you understand the architecture and dependencies of your project. You can determine impacted projects for any change using the NX affected command, which analyzes code changes, and it allows you to run targeted commands only on affected parts of your code base. Also, it helps you optimize build and test times in a monorepo setup, and you can achieve efficiency. If you run NX affected graph, which is the affected command that I told you about, if you change one library which an application depends on it, if you make a change to that library, all the applications that are dependent on it are going to be changed. Another benefit of NX tasks is the NX Cloud. The NX Cloud provides distributed caching and task execution. And you also get visual insights. For example, here we have a list of builds for your workspace, and you can see them in a nice visual environment and get smart analysis on them. Another thing that NX offers, which is one of my favorite things, is NX agents, or what we call distributed task executions. You can run tasks in parallel and distribute them across machines or CI agents. So now let's see a real life, in quotes, example. I don't know why it's not responding. Okay, so now let's take a look at a real life example of what an organization may have. Say your organization has a customer service application. And for your customer service application, you have some libraries. For example, a knowledge base library, a support tickets library, a live chat library, and a new ticket library. Also, let's say that you have two libraries that are shared amongst each other, the validators and the design system libraries. Now, if you made the change to the new ticket library, a normal workspace approach would be to rebuild and retest everything. However, with NX, it's not moving. Okay, so in a non-NX way, you would build and test every library. So each of these colors represents the build time, for example, of each project. With NX, however, NX understands how your libraries depend on each other, in what is called the project graph, as we saw. So now let's see what happens if you make a change to the new ticket. If you make a change to the new ticket, NX knows that the support tickets and the customer service app depend on the new ticket. So NX will just rebuild what is affected. So your affected build time will be much, as we see here, will be much shorter than your total CI time. With parallelization, that, as I said, NX offers, if you run these parallel tasks together in different agents, you get even less time, and your total CI time is just as long as your parallel task. So even though we're able to rebuild only these projects have unaffected projects. So what NX does is that it will fetch the ready-made parts, the already built libraries from the cache without you having to rebuild it. So if we put everything together with the cache, you see how build times are even more reduced. So the question arises, what if CI and developer computers work together? And this is where NX Cloud comes in. Because what NX Cloud offers is that if you have your workspace connected to NX Cloud and your colleagues have the same workspace, the same company workspace connected to NX Cloud, you share the same cache. So if I run a build, my colleague can fetch the cache from my build and reuse it in their build. So the total CI time with the shared cache is very much reduced. You can see as much as 10x build performance improvements in CI. But it's not just you and the organization that's benefiting, it's every developer that feels this benefit, because everything is much more efficient. The other concept that we have, the distributed task execution, is called now NX Agents. NX Agents lets you distribute your CI across many machines with minimal configuration. You can watch this video that we have on YouTube and see a real-life example recorded by Victor to explain how this happens. Let's see this nice visualization now of how an NX workspace working with CI and working with NX Cloud has a very much better build time. So if you run, for example, the command NX affected build test leads E2E, you run it on your workspace, you have CI, and you also have NX Cloud helping CI. In NX Cloud, these tasks are broken down, and eventually they're distributed to different agents. The remote cache is also working with these to fetch things, so everything is much, much faster, and large organizations can benefit from it, and this is why large organizations choose to use NX. So with this command, you can tell it on how many machines to distribute it on, and you will get the best results. Also, there is more. We were talking about testing before, and how each test, and if you run, it takes a lot of time. What NX does now is that it splits your E2E test suits by file. So if you have an E2E test suite, it breaks down each of the tests in each file and runs them in parallel. So imagine how much this cuts down the E2E test time. Also, we all know that some E2E tests are flaky. Like you run them once, you run them again, they don't work. Right? We have all experienced that, I'm sure. NX identifies which tests get the same inputs but have different outputs, and automatically runs these tests again to make sure that you don't have to manually click and rerun them. So again, there's more. NX is super easy to adopt. It's integrated, as I said, with Visual Studio Code and GitHub. So you have a GitHub integration that you can see. You have the NX Cloud report. You have the NX CLI GUI, like the NX console, which previously used to be the Angular console, and you get NX Cloud reports. Also, we have NX Workflows, which is dynamic agent provision. They provide task parallelization, shareable build artifacts, CI process automation, And all this just with a single workflow YAML file that you put in your workspace, and NX Workflows takes care of the rest. Also, we have an exciting thing coming along, and I say exciting because I am part of the team that's working on it. We have the Tasky AI, which will be some AI-powered solutions for your workspace and organization, and AI will determine how to better distribute your work. So to sum up, we have NX Replay, which is the cache, NX Agents, which is the distributed task execution, NX Workflows, which is your CI solution, and your AI Manager, Tasky. So how can you add it in your Angular application? You just run npx nx init. And I saw some people smiling at this. Red is for Angular, so my cat wears red, and how can I add it to my Angular application? I don't see many people laughing, so I assume you're not paying attention. Shame on all of you. Okay, thank you. So npx nx init, and you will get all of these benefits in your workspace and in your organization. So you should now run to your project manager or your tech lead or whoever and show them this command, because this command will change your life, I'm telling you. This will install the correct version of NX, it will install NX Angular on your workspace, and it will set up NX for you. Just run this command and it will do the magic. Does it have compatibility with Angular Dev Kit? Of course, you can use Angular schematics on NX because they have very similar architecture. And how can I generate a new Angular application? You can just do npx create NX workspace my app with preset Angular. It's so easy. Advantages of NX, I'm almost done. Advantages of NX over the Angular CLI, you can cache any target. You only run tasks that are affected by a code change. You split a large Angular JSON into multiple project JSON files. More easy to maintain, more easy to share, more easy to explain, integrate with modern tools, and controllable update process with the migrators. And of course, improved productivity if you have a cat on your lap. So you can go to this link here, or actually you can scan this QR and go to our YouTube to see all the videos about NX. Good. And thank you very much. You can follow NX Dev Tools on Twitter and nx.dev to find all you need. Thank you very much.